Hello everyone, Trigger's the name. This is my video game news cap for the week. Get us right into this. Let's talk about the Switch, Nintendo. It's getting kind of a hot topic right now because apparently there's a lot of rumors going out at the moment about the Switch Pro, and like, I know when I first heard about the rumors of Switch Pros, it was supposed to be the home console that was supposed to compete against the PS5 and Series X, and it was supposed to be like the regular Switch allows you to take it on the go with you or play at home. And the Switch Lite was supposed to only be on the go and probably for more younger kids. And the Switch Pro is supposed to be more for an adult and it's only be at home, which sounds like a good idea. So if you want to focus on like hardcore game, more competitive and good graphics, you get the home console. If you want to just play on the go and only really pretty much use it as like a 3DS kind of style, you get the Lite. And if you want both, you just get the regular Switch. It's actually pretty cool. It's a really good idea. The only thing is that at the moment, there's no really point of getting the Switch Lite because the regular Switch can do both, you know, and there's not that much incentives. Yeah, the Switch Lite is a little bit stronger processor and longer battery life and everything, but I just think the regular Switch is good. But now it seems like the Switch Pro is actually going to be just a little bit bigger size of the Switch, the regular Switch. And I know that people have been asking that since the Switch first came out because, you know, us here in the West, we actually have bigger hands normally, so we wanted to be a little bit bigger because the Joy-Cons are pretty small, especially for like a lot bigger hand kind of people here in the West. So I actually kind of makes sense that they want to make an XL version, and that's why I thought it was going to be just an XL version. But apparently also saying in rumors, and again, take this with a grain of salt, if you dock it, it will play 4K games, which I don't know how many games that like Nintendo has that would want to see 4K other than games that already play 4K in like PS4 and Xbox kind of stuff. So I don't really see that much of a like need for it if that's the case. Like if it's a home console that stays home and actually shows off all that really high-end quality, then that makes sense. But if it's just gonna be a regular Switch XL version, then I don't know, I guess it's cool. I kind of like the fact that I can actually put my Switch into my pocket. I actually think that's actually really neat, or my little like sweater pocket or something like that. But I just think it's not really that really useful to me. I think I'm just gonna stick with my regular Switch because it can do all the things I needed to do. And by the way, it doesn't really matter how good your system is. If your online is still lagging after hardlining it and anything like that, if your just online market and anything like that is as bad as it is on the Nintendo, it doesn't matter how good that game looks, it's still gonna be lagging. So fix that first, and then we'll talk about Pro, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is dynamic difficulty. So there's a lawsuit that's being put onto EA because of dynamic difficulty system and loot boxes. Now, when I first learned about dynamic difficulty, I thought it was supposed to be like if you're playing a game, the game itself will see that you're doing well, so they'll tweak it and make the game harder for you. Maybe give you less health potions, maybe put a little more spongy on the character so it's harder to kill and stuff like that. And then if you're having a hard time with it, they'll make the game easier, give you more health and all that kind of stuff. You know, psychological ways to make it so it's more challenging for everything. But apparently, actually, it does not work that way. And what's going on is that they make it so that the game becomes more grindier and difficult, so that you have incentive to buy the DLC pack so you can progress into the game, which is what's going on with Madden, and they're having a hard time dealing with it. So now they're suing them so that they can get rid of that system, so that people don't feel like they're being inclined to buy something they really shouldn't just because the game's getting harder. I know Activision does something where like I don't know if they still do it. I just know I saw articles saying that they were going to do this, or maybe they're still doing it. But if you haven't bought anything like a Call of Duty game, they will actually purposely put you in lobbies of people who do buy a lot of stuff, so that you inclined to actually want to buy something because you see everyone else buying something. Like, I like all the kind of cool things that psychologically can go into games. Like anything that's psychology based is really interesting to me, mostly because I graduated with a psychology degree. But like, I still want to say that like it's really pretty messed up that marketing people are using it just so that they can make more money off of people, and they're going to keep on doing that to find different ways to work. Like, you know, that's how the whole loot box system worked, but apparently they get sued for it, so we'll see how it ends up for them. To me, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that crazy. They might just change it, or they might deny it, and they might actually just buy it out, so they keep doing it or change it up so that they can still do it technically. But what do you think? Are you aware of some of these psychological tricks that they put onto it? Are you just realizing it and now you realize, oh shoot, I actually been spending a lot of money I shouldn't have? Or do you think this is something that it's not gonna bother you? You don't deal with this kind of stuff. This is not your situation. I don't know. I think it's happening to more people than you think. Another thing I want to talk about is Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, that game. You know, the game that everyone kind of forgot about because it kind of just didn't do very well. Mostly because they just didn't have content for the game. Like, I wanted to play as Hawkeye from the very beginning, and I think they just implemented a Hawkeye in the game, which is still kind of dumb to me. But I don't know. So apparently what's going on is that they just put in a system in place where it's going to be harder to grind now. Or more that, like, it's going to be a lot more grindier and harder to progress and get level ups. And I love the reasoning behind it. Apparently the reason why they want to do that is because they're afraid that new players will get in and level up too much and get confused. Because you know, when you play RPGs, you get confused when you level up too much and you have too many awesome things you can put into your character. That's too bad. So we're going to make it so that you don't level up fast enough and you don't get as much cool stuff that early, and you have to grind your way through the game just so you get cool stuff. Yeah, that's totally how RPGs work. You know, they totally do that in all the other games that has RPG elements, and you know you hate it when you get that level up, you know, because you just do not know where to put those perks. Man, darn, I wish more games did that. The whole thing is pretty stupid in my opinion. I don't like the way they're trying to do it and like the reasonings behind it. Now, I think it's stupid, but there could be two reasons why they're doing it. Like, real reason, not the stupid reason, because obviously that's not the actual reason. Either one, they are doing it because Spider-Man's coming out soon for Marvel's Avengers, and they know that there's going to get a lot of new players to come in to play it. So they want to make it so that it's a lot more like harder for them to grind up of their Spider-Man character, and maybe be more sensitized to do more of that loot boxes, you know, with that dynamic difficulty kind of situation that's going on with them, you know, because other companies are totally doing that too, not just EA. But the other thing they could do is that they might just actually want it to die. They might want to make it so that all the small people that are still playing the game to get off the game as quickly as possible, to make the game harder and grindier, so that they leave, so that they can ditch the project and move on to another game, kind of like they did with Anthem. But what do you guys think? Do you think they're doing it to make more money off of the Spider-Man that's coming out, or to get people off the game so that they can move on to something else? What do you guys think? Last thing I want to talk about is Resident Evil Village. Now, no worry, I'm not talking about the 9 foot vampire lady. That'll be in a completely different video for someone else. I don't want to touch that. Even then, I actually prefer like the daughters. I think they're daughters way more than I care about the 9 foot tall vampire lady. Not my jam. If it's your jam, go for it. Just not my jam. But really, I want to talk about the censorship. Apparently, there's actually going to be a lot of censors and like scenes cut out in the Japan version, not in the Western version, the Japan version. And you might be wondering, well, what they're banning? There's like nudity going on with that? Is the 9 foot lady going to get nude? It's like, no, obviously not. Japan doesn't care about nudity. Like, they've never cared about that kind of stuff. Have you seen the advertisements in some of their games? They do not care about showing some skin. What they do care is about violence, because violence is actually a lot worse in Japan. They want to ban that out for a long time. I know they've done that with like God of War, and they've done that with like, a lot of Call of Duty and GTA kind of games, where they actually censored or banned out a lot of really violent acts, which here in the West, we don't care about violence. You know, this is so funny. I love it when I get customers who's like, they get like a maturity game, like a little kid gets a maturity game, and then mom comes up to me. I'm like, hey, you know this is very mature for blood, gore, sex, violence, language. They're like, oh, wait, there's sex in there? Oh, get rid of that. We can't have any of that. But of course, the sex is on there. They're like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. You know, you can cut off the head and rip the vertebrae from their spines and stuff like that. They don't care about that. But if there's sexual themes, ooh, no, oh my god, it's so taboo. While in Japan, it's the opposite. Apparently, if it's very violent, they don't want it. But if it has a lot of sexual themes, then no, it's fine. Totally cool. I know, I think it's kind of funny. I'm going to be playing in the West. I might even stream it for you guys, so be prepared for that. But I don't know, what do you guys think? I don't think I have any Japanese viewers, but if I do you think it's okay to get that censorship, or would you try and get a United States copy so you can go away from the censorship? I think there should be an option for video games to have the censorship or not. You know, like in the options saying, hey, this game has a lot of violence, blood and gore. Do you want to remove that from the game, or do you want to keep it in? Because I feel like games shouldn't be forced for that kind of stuff. Because if it's for kids, the parents should be aware of it, and they should be actively checking out things that the kids are playing so that they can actually like monitor what needs to be banned or not. And same thing in Japan, you know, if like adults don't like that violence, then maybe they should get like the censorship version of it or something like that. I know, I think there should just be multiple different kinds instead of just forcing censorship on games. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like censorship? Do you think it's definitely worth it, or do you think there should be an option for it? What do you guys think? That's gonna be it for me today. I could talk about some more other stuff, like how Bethesda is officially owned by like Microsoft and all that kind of stuff. People are freaking out. There's gonna be some exclusivity, which if you guys want to know my argument on that, come see me or ask me in the comments below. I can tell you why I do not think that Bethesda's exclusivity. It's just be a stupid thing for them to do. And then of course I can talk about the other game studios in Steam that's called very positive studio, which is actually very hilarious because whenever someone looks at the rating system, they see that the studio is called very positive and they think that the game is very positive because the way the ranking system works. And I just think it's really funny that they tried to play the system like that, and Steam saw that and they cut them down. So at least Steam is still watching out for their games and, you know, not having that kind of stuff happen. But I think it's kind of funny. But is there any other kind of news that you guys read up or know about that I didn't talk about and you want me to talk about it for next episode? Let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely see you next week when I will talk about the next week's video game news. Till then, I hope you guys have yourself a nice day. Bye!